Welcome, Walnut. I'm Lara, but you can call me Laz, your host for Walnut Wednesday. This is your reminder to be brave, be yourself, and know that you can make the world a better place just by what you decide today. Here, I'm going to share my weekly walnuttings with you on a Wednesday.
Hello, Walnut. It is me, Laz, here for another episode of Walnut Wednesday. Tuning in from bed with the laptop, no special microphone in. Kevin's just been picked up for his pack walk, so it's just me, my monitor, to check my baby vampire, and a cup of coffee and a quiet moment to have a chat with you. So, bing, bing, cheers. I'm wondering if maybe this time when Kevin gets picked up and Vampire Louis is sleeping, that I might be able to weekly do my episodes at this point. So we'll see. But cheers, morning cough. Let's have a sip together. I hope you're having a wonderful week. My walnutting that I want to share with you this week is um basically just how I went from the high of doing my first like solo drive in my walnutting to the low to the spiral that came with it later. So last week, I talked about I was on my little adrenaline cloud of doing some walnuttings and doing the milestones. I had done my first solo drives. Then I attended my first like lunch with my baby in the capsule, and that freaked me out and everything. And I was really celebrating myself. And then I got to this point where, so Vampire Louis would have turned 8 weeks old, which is like, what on earth? I can't believe that people say that the time really goes fast, but it goes really fast. Like I don't really know how to describe it. It just I don't know. And uh, basically he, I've just I had a little moment where I spiraled out of control, and I think it was because um first of all, Louis grew out of the newborn insert of the bouncer and the car seat and stuff. So he's getting bigger, which is great and amazing. But it also made me have this like weird little concept of time going really fast. Then there was a dead bird outside of my door. And if you've been here long enough, Walnut, you know that I'm very superstitious. And I didn't feel like that was a good thing. Logically, let's just talk real logically real quick because as we know, Walnut, my logic brain and then my other brain, they both live in parallel at all times. So logically, there is an orange neighbor cat of ours, that has I call it the cat with the human face because it looks like a human. Like it reminds me of like Alice in Wonderland kind of Cheshire cat vibes. But there's we have a resident cat next door that runs past our front door all the time that Kevin always barks at. Was probably just leaving a present for us. Okay. So there probably was no malicious intent um of that. And it is like 99% likely that that is what happened. It was just like a little present from the neighbor cat with the human face. My woo-woo brain was like, this is not a good omen. Oh my God. And it just took that little tick to spiral me into a black abyss, which is quite common and happens all the time in this condition. After having a baby, I feel like you're just always running on all of these little tabs open at all times. And this kind of like ticked one into a spiral purely because I had been all of the adrenaline rushes, all of the anxiety, and then the high of the celebrating it. I had to come to this like low to get back to my kind of neutral. And now I'm talking from a place of neutral. But I wanted to share how over the weekend I just kind of went into a bit of an abyss. Um, and my main thing was that I just don't feel like a person. I was crying and it was just all of a sudden like Geordie had got came arrived home and I said I'm just having a hard time and I just started crying and I said I just don't feel like a person. Um And I just want to full stop it there, but I'm tr because I don't really know how to describe it other than I don't feel like a person. Um, it's really weird. And again, the logic brain that lives in parallel to the spiral black abyss brain. Um, I hadn't had a shower that day. I hadn't gone outside that day. Um, I had all of those kind of peak uh high adrenaline moments. So there was a logical reason to why I was having this little um I had reached the peak and then I needed to come back down. Um, but it, I think what I want to try and describe as my walnutting this week is that where I'm at now is I'm just constantly in a cyclical clock of stuff. Like I had this little moment to myself where Kiwi just got picked up just now, for example, and I thought, oh, I'll quickly grab my laptop. This is a great moment while Vampire Louis is still having a little nap, to have a chat. But then all of a sudden my boobs started hurting and I checked on my little app and I've only got 30 minutes before I need to milk myself again. And then after I milk myself, then I'll only have 30 minutes before Vampire Louis is due for his food again. So like I'm always and it's different every day because it depends on when he wakes up, on when I initially milk myself first thing in the morning. I'm just ticking on this little time frame. So on the weekend, I tried to get to do something for myself and to go out. But that actually stressed me out even more because get, I'm trying to get my vampire ready. I'm trying to get my milking schedule in a fashion so that I can go out and be back to not milk. Um, it's kind of wild. And I have the option to bring like a wireless little pump out with me. But that's also like a thing, That's also, I'm not comfortable. I have to like whip my baby out. Will I have to be driving? All of these extra additional thoughts as well. So all that while my butthole is so freaking sore. I've developed a new mushroom that actually just hurts now. That I get overshare. I get a little bit of blood when I go to the toilet with this little mushroom in the garden. Like that alone is so sore. Or it will be itchy, which I mean, an itchy butthole is good because it means everything is healing, but also so it's really uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. And then you're like feeding a vampire or milking yourself, and all you want to do is like sit in a position that doesn't aggravate the mushroom. So that. My nipples are getting a little bit sore from pumping. Um, I just I just don't know how I think it's wild how women do this all the time and don't complain. And that's not to say that I want my episodes to be complaining episodes, but like my wrists are sore. It hurts me to lift my baby. Um, because I've met both of my wrists. It's an actual thing. If you Google like mum wrist, I don't know if I've told you about this already, but um, it happens. And then I'm all crampy because all of my organs are going back together. All of the while, I've got my ticking clock. I've actually got a little vampire to care for. It's a lot. It's a lot to make you spiral. And you're in, is it in tandem? It's not even tandem because there's multiple. All while all of these tabs are open for all of the things. Um, yeah, it's no wonder that we spiral into the black abyss sometimes. So my walnutting this week is just that I feel I'm back at the neutral, but I had such a high in celebrating my anxiety and my anxiousness in doing these milestones and being brave, that I actually not crescendoed, I peaked back down into this lower point. Stand by, Walnut. And now I'm here back, in my neutral, and the that feeling still stands of I don't feel like a person. I just feel like this, not even a milk truck. I just feel like this. I'm just going to the next 30 minutes of the next thing that I have to do. And it's not even, when you're like working at your 9 to 5 or whatever, it's not even the autopilot, mundane, being in the Shark Tank kind of vibe. This is like almost disassociation of just like, who I don't even know. It's not even who am I or I don't know who I am. It's just I don't feel like a person, which I think is wild. And that was in the peak spiral black abyss feeling just feeling quite hopeless. And now I'm at my neutral and now I just feel like, just kind of reflecting on that statement. I don't feel like a person. And I feel like it's pretty normal. I feel like this is a normal phase of where I'm at in my postpartum, in the fourth trimester, in life in general. But I can logically understand why I feel this way, if that kind of makes sense. So just I really it's not even I leaned into it. It's not even that I wallowed in it. I didn't bask in it. It just happened like naturally because of like I've told you about the week, lots of feelings, lots of thoughts, lots of emotions. Um yeah, so I don't feel like a person. But I know that it's normal and I am okay and I am fine and I know my points of when I need to seek help and assistance. And so what I did when I wasn't feeling like a person in a not positive way was first of all I vocalized it to Geordie while I was crying. I was like, I don't feel like a person. It's not everywhere. So first of all, I vocalized it to someone I know, love, and trust. Um, and so that they're aware and they can monitor me. I then agreed with Geordie that I might try take a walk. So I got Geordie to hang out with Vampire Louis and I took Kevin, my poor beautiful angel Kevin. Um, Took Kevin for just a short loop around the block just to get some fresh air, just to actually leave the house because I don't do that as often as probably is really good for me. Um, and when I got back, I took a shower. A very simple task, short little, I don't even think it was 10 minutes loop around the block and a shower. And I didn't even wash my hair in the shower. We didn't need to add on any extra admin. But sometimes that little cleanse away and de-stress and not being able to sit and spiral about the dead bird. um, Open up a window, get like to my soul, just getting outside. And then I think, yeah, we did air out the house a little bit. Got a bit stuffy. It's getting warmer here in New Zealand as well. So those were the main sort of like little baby step micro walnuttings that I did to help myself, in order to not even to try and make me feel like a person because I don't know how you will how that feeling will come back. I assume eventually it just will. But to just get out of that really like bottomless pit feeling and come back to my little neutral. There are all sorts of like little great achievements there that I have in my power to do to help myself. So I just thought I would share that, Walnut. I hope this helps. I hope this motivates you in any way. And like I always say, if you've been in this position before, I would love to hear from you. If this resonates, even though you've not been in any of these kind of conditions, but I feel like it's kind of we do get like this in general. I think even pre-condition, I did get, we have our little peaks and troughs. Is it trough? I don't know. We have our little highs and lows all the time. Um, so I think it's just important to share. And if you have story time on this, I would love to hear from you. If you want to visit Walnut Wednesday, I would also love to hear from you. Still struggling with the scheduling thing. So you can fill out the form and I'll have all your information there. And when I'm at a point where I can start having appointments, I'm really looking forward to having some guests back on the podcast. So I would love to hear like birthing stories. I would love to hear pretty much any time that you've walnutted. So how this resonates with you. I would love to just chat. Um, yes. So I don't feel like a person, but from a neutral from a neutral voice today, whereas over the weekend was quite a low point of not feeling like a person. But today it's just kind of like I don't feel like a person. That emoji like shrugs shoulders. I don't feel like a person. Um, but I'm okay. And I know my things and I know my points of little micro walnuttings that help me get to it to where I am at the neutral. So I hope this helps. Have a happy Walnut Wednesday and I will talk to you next week. Bye.